Hey guys, big news. Next thing for the channel, I just got an email. It's ready for me to pick up. We'll grab the drone. Super excited to introduce this on the channel.
Unknown caller.
Dan, this is Jeremy from Harley of Scottsdale. How you doing today?
So I am super excited about this. This is the Polaris. It's a General XP1000. This is the 4-seater, and it is a Troy Lee Designs limited edition. Recently, I actually did a video series on the Slingshot. Now, I knew nothing about slingshots, and I produced a whole series pretty much from the lens of a guy who knew nothing about it. And it was a very, very fun series to record. So I reached out to Polaris and asked them, hey, I'd be really interested in taking a look at a Razor because the Razors are very popular here in Phoenix. So Polaris responded to me and said, we don't actually have any Razors in our press fleet available to send out, but we do have a General. I didn't even know the General existed. I had to go on their website and look it up and found out that the General is basically, it's an off-road vehicle similar to what the Razor is, but there are some very unique differences. Number one, it does have a dump body, which is very convenient for people who are going to be using these for more, multi-purpose as opposed to just kind of bombing around out on off-road trails. So much more functional for somebody who's using this as a tool around their property, but also getting out and kind of riding off-road. Now, I'm not going to start spouting off spec sheets here. Those videos exist. They're a dime a dozen. What you will see me do is go through this and focus on some of the specs that I learn in time as I'm kind of playing around with this thing in terms of suspension and things like that. But my first impressions as somebody who's very new to the platform of off-road vehicles, but having some experience with my trucks and things like that, I can say the suspension here is pretty significant. It's a monster. You can see it a little bit better on the backside. Shocks here that are adjustable for firmness. I'll actually soften these up a little bit. When I got this from the press fleet, it's very clear that this thing has been used previously. It's certainly made its rounds. I am very impressed so far with what this thing is looking like in terms of comfort, aside from taking it up to the gas station and putting some fuel in it. I really haven't done too much with it. So you guys are really going to watch me in this series run through what the General is and why you might consider a Razor versus a General. I'm really going to kind of dive into this and try to get into the differences. I do have a buddy who does have a Razor, and I intend on going out and riding with him to get a little bit of experience from people who actually have been driving these things for quite some time. And again, I'm not interested in faking a narrative as if this is something I'm very well versed in because I'm new to it. So I'm very excited that Polaris has given me the opportunity to create this content as somebody who is very new to the entire platform of really the off-road vehicles in general. Very excited to add this to the channel, something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. First impressions on this thing, after getting it to the house, which was kind of a bummer because I had to go pick it up the same day that I had to leave for LA to go visit my brother. So I basically got to the house, parked this thing. It was kind of a real quick having to run around town sort of moment. Got it here, parked it, and now it's here, and I need to plan on these trips. Now, one of the things that I will tell you guys is that I don't own a trailer currently. I did have to rent a U-Haul trailer. That is how I intend on getting this thing around town. And truth be told, if I bought one of these, that's probably what I would do anyways, is plan on renting trailers for 25 bucks a day, as opposed to owning a trailer and trying to figure out where to park it. I don't have room at the house for it, getting a storage unit, those kinds of things. So that's all part of how this series is going to run, is me trying to figure out how I would kind of navigate this whole thing, basically just having this thing in the garage and the inconvenience of having to kind of move my wife's car out of the garage, how to store these things. Again, just approaching this as a complete noob. And I think I'll be discovering some of the inconveniences maybe of even having one of these things long term, how to store it, and moving it around, things like that. But I'm super excited about it. My first impressions of this unit, it has 666 miles on the odometer. It does have the ride command system, which I absolutely love. That was also in the slingshot that I had, so I'm very interested to see what this, how it's used in an off-road sense. But I will tell you that the Polaris, Indian, their ride command system is unparalleled by any other competition. Absolutely awesome. Have been a huge fan of it. And also the back seats, I was very surprised to see they've got, nice center console storage in the back for passengers, as well as some cup holders, a nice little storage compartment. It's actually a very nice position, in terms of being a passenger and having some really nice creature comforts. Now up in the main compartment, it's a very utilitarian type of vehicle. So jumping up in here, again, you've got your switches, light bars, winch operation. So that's the winch up front. You've got some headlight controls, which high beams, regular headlights, and then just off. And then we also have our turf mode, two-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive systems. It has a very engaging automatic transmission. Very satisfying when going through all of those gear options. And just some general overall storage. I'm assuming this just comes down. Some paperwork. The USB cable. Don't know if this has Apple CarPlay. I will mess with that in another video. Some nice mats that are removable and very easy to clean. You can pressure wash these things out. Drain plugs down on the bottom. I did remove these drain plugs because I did spray it out, but it does have the drain plugs. So again, I just wanted to introduce this in a way that was just me talking about my real intent around the series with this. I still have some truck build stuff going on. I've got actually some boxes over here that I have some installs to do in the near future. I've got some stuff to clean up on the tool bench. It's been very busy around here in the Gears and Gadgets garage for sure, but super thrilled to have a new toy to play with for really several months. So I do plan on kind of getting out and taking advantage of my ability to do so. And hopefully in the future, I will have the ability to compare this to a Razor and try to figure out what the differences really are. Because again, I am approaching this as a complete noob, and I would have to imagine that a lot of people in the market for something like this are sort of in a similar scenario that I am, not really knowing the differences between them and the pros and cons between them both. So I kind of really plan on exploring a whole bunch of that. Thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. Without you guys, none of this nonsense, and I truly mean nonsense. I've got the bike here, the ability to have the electric Harley Davidson, the live wire on the channel for a period of time, as well as the slingshot. None of this stuff exists without your guys' support, so I'm super grateful for all of that. It's been a very long road to get to the point of being able to get these kinds of relationships, and I certainly do not want to squander that opportunity. So again, thank you guys very much for all of the continued support. It means the world to me. So if this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Likes go a long way to help support the channel. I'm super pumped to get out and start thrashing this thing and putting it through its paces. Super exciting. So stay tuned. There will be more content coming for sure around the Polaris General XP 1000 4-seaters. Troy Lee Designs limited edition side by side. So super, super, super looking forward to it. Hope you guys are as well. I'll catch you next time.